Hey guys, Thena here with Songwriting Snippet number 10. So I thought it would be cool today to continue talking about song form by moving into more of the historical side of song form and how it originated. And to me, it makes the most sense to start with folk music because folk music has the simplest song form. It's basically an A section that repeats over and over. And when I think of folk music in its most basic form, I think of something like hymns, right? And this is the kind of music that would have originated from lower class people, people who didn't know how to read or write, and the music that they were singing was basically like their oral tradition that they were passing on, that was talking about their community and their life and their culture. And so that's what folk music is. And in the case of hymns, you would have been putting a new lyric to an existing popular song of the day, like the kind of song people would have been singing in a bar. So everybody would have known these tunes, and that was a clever way for a hymn writer to take something that people were familiar with and turn it into something new. So of course examples of this would be something like Amazing Grace, Silent Night, right? And if you go and look at those, you'll see it's basically just one section, your A section, that repeats over and over again, okay? Another example of this would be something like nursery rhymes, where again you have an A section that's repeating basically the same from one to the next, and really you can just think of any nursery rhyme would be an example, right? So like hey diddle diddle, songs, little ditties like that. Another type of folk music I wanted to talk about is field hollers, and these were songs that were sung by African American slaves as they worked out in the fields doing hard labor. And they're almost like a kind of a protest song. And the song form was basically a call and response. That's what we call this song form. So you would have had a leader of the group as they worked who would have sung the initial idea. That was your A section. Then he would repeat that A section. So he would sing the same thing again, and then you'd have a B section. You would have a B section where there was a unified chorus, and the rest of the guys as they worked would join in and sing something a little different lyrically and melodically to complete that first thought that had been thrown out there by the leader in that A section. So in field hollers we have A, B. Now this is important because this leads us into the 12-bar blues song form. So there's an evolution. It's moving from A section, just a pure A in folk music, to now A, B, and then moving into 12-bar blues. And in 12-bar blues, just like with the field holler, you've got one idea, and then that idea is repeated. And then you have a second idea, your B section, that is continuing and completing that thought lyrically and is shifting a little bit musically, right? So it's a contrasting section, two A's and a B. And each of those sections would be 4 bars long. So you'd have an A for 4 bars, another A for 4 bars, and a B for 4 bars. And there's your 12-bar blues. And this is then going to lead into jazz standards and eventually up into pop music, into what you hear on the radio today. So we'll talk more about that next time. But this week, just think about folk song form and a simple A section and a simple A-B, and how you can create contrast from one section to another. And you could do it lyrically, melodically, you could do it with your chord progression. You could even play around with your time, right? With your time signatures. So what are all the ways that you can create contrast so that you have the familiar and the unfamiliar? So you have the tension and the release that's going to keep your listener engaged and wanting to hear your song. So another fun thing you might want to do this week is go and try to find a folk song. Go and listen to some of the folk music from the 60s. Listen to some Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, and see if you can find a song that's just A, right? Just repeated. One that comes to mind is Blowin' in the Wind by Bob Dylan. So be sure to go to my website, thenabeam.com, to get the assignment that goes along with this week's snippet, and hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye.